Okay, so as you can see, the new Sony HDR-XR500v, this is the new top dog HD camcorder from Sony, okay? It's now packing a huge 240GB internal hard drive, okay? And it's actually got a new compact frame. We can actually see that from the previous model, the Sony HDR-XR12, it only had 120GB hard drive, but Sony's actually ramped it up now to 240GB. So that's even, more pound for your muscle, okay? So, never the fact of being able to record and having to judge your recording times because of lack of capacity. You've now got a 240GB hard drive. And in the previous model, it actually had only 10.1 megapixels for its lens, but now Sony's got a new 12.1 megapixel lens, and it's called the G lens, okay, which is excellent. And this is perfect for low light performances. So if you're actually at concerts or you're recording late at night, this is absolutely perfect. The actual clarity on it is incredible, okay, studio clarity. And you also have a GPS mapping system. This is a new function from Sony where when you've recorded an actual film or an actual video, you can actually go back and you can see exactly where you took that video or you took that shot with a new GPS mapping system. And it's also got something called the active mode image stabilization, okay? So you can actually, hold the camera more sturdy and it records not as jagged, okay? So I hope you enjoy the rest of the review. Okay, so this is the front of the actual camera, and as you can see, the actual lens barrel, and on the left-hand side is the actual left flash. Okay, so this can be turned on and off inside the menu. And underneath is a it's a little small dial, okay, and this is referred to as the actual cam control dial on last year's models, and this can be used to make those manual adjustments to make sure you're getting your actual picture in focus. And last year I was talking about this; it was a rave of last year, and I'm happy to see that they've actually put this in on the new HDR-XR500v because they had this as a feature on the Sony HDR-XR12, and it's fantastic for clarity. Okay, so you'll be glad to know that the right hand side of the HDR-XR500v doesn't look much different than last year's model of the HDR-XR12. On the right hand side is located a 240GB hard drive, okay, and this fits into your hand comfortably, and as you can see, the actual traditional Sony hand strap it's just adjustable and it's sturdy, okay. And there's actually two sections on the right hand side of this actual model where you can actually have the headphone jack, the microphone jack, and these are actually behind. There's a little pop-out function where you can actually put these behind them, okay, behind the cover. And also the front sides, actually the actual slide on the front has actually got the AV output and the USB port and the HDMI output. Okay, so the first thing from the back, we can actually notice that it's so much more thinner than the Sony HDR-XR12, last year's actual model. And the fact that Sony's actually managed to produce a slimmer camcorder while still doubling the size of its internal hard drive, it's really impressive, okay? So going from 120GB to 240 and still being slimmer, that's truly impressive. As you can see, the button layout and design is also different compared to last year's model, okay? So instead of a mode dial to switch between still and video mode, the XR500v now features a small mode button, which you can see on there. Now the record button, which is still located in the same place, it's now just been modified and it's now tall and it's got a slim design. And as you can see, beneath the record button is the camcorder's DC input. So it's actually ergonomically and aesthetically pleasing. You'll also notice that it's actually got an electric viewfinder as well as a battery compartment here on the back of the camcorder. Okay, so the left hand side of the HDR actually doesn't have much going on until you look inside the LCD cavity, and you'll actually find a number of buttons behind there. So there's a power, playback, display, easy, and DVD burn. And there's also two sliding switches there. One turns GPS on and off, and the other chooses low light modes such as standard, low, lux, and the acclaimed night shot view, okay? The memory stick slot is next to these buttons and it's behind the little door. So if you need to actually insert your Sony memory stick, you can put it in there. Okay, so on top of the camcorder is a door that actually slides open to reveal Sony's accessory shoe, which is only compatible with Sony brand products. So if you actually want to input the actual zoom mic, that's another function, or another flashlight on top of there, you can actually put that there, okay? You've also got the zoom toggle and the shutter button are also on top there. And these are actually placed back where your index finger is, so you have easy access to them. Okay, so at the bottom of the actual HDR-XR520V is the battery release button and the tripod mount. That's all that's at the bottom of the camcorder. Okay, so that's a brief overview of the Sony HDR-XR520V. If you want to find out more, be sure to click the link in the description. You'll find out a bunch of more things that you actually do with this actual powerful piece of kit, okay? But I hope you've enjoyed the review. This is Nathan Salmon, Capital Visions. Be sure to check out the link in the description. Thank you.